Hi, I'm Captain Larry Bell with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report. All along this area here in Ayers Dugout, as you head over toward Fish Camp and past the little cut and little drain that goes through that out in the Ayers Reef, you can work all this area out to here on this edge. Topwater bait's been pretty good through here. Your burner shads, your down south lures, the darker versions of those, the chicken of the sea and the magic grass have been working the best in this area here. If you want to rig that thing up weedless, you can, because again there's a bunch of shell that's up in here, but the one thing you have to be aware of too, there's still a bunch of oyster boats up in this bay system, so that may deter you, but you can still catch some fish. Just remember this year that our if you will, is do the catch and release on the trout for this coming spring, summer, and into the fall to really help our estuaries out with our trout population, to really help bring that back. Primarily look for your redfish all along this area here. Just continue to work that edge all the way across, find your bait, and just be patient with that, and throw those baits, and you'll find a few fish. Up here on Belden Reef, Belden Lake area, all against this back shoreline and this little lake area back in here, that'll give you a lot of good protection from the southeast breeze that we're going to continue to have leading into the weekend. Our water levels have come back up, our water temps have come back up, so all this area here becomes back in play for you. Look for your trout, look for redfish back in this area here. There's been some flounder mixed in here as well on this other side, closer to where the shell hangs out back in this little lake area. Again, the burner shads have done pretty good back in this area. The natural color or the purple rain have done really good in those particular flavors. The Corky Devils continue to be fairly well as far as producing, and then of course your down south lure supermodel and regular model have done well. Throw you a few topwater baits back in this area here and really work it. Look for your bait to work all in this area here. There's been a few redfish that have been caught back in this little lake area. They haven't been big, but they have been there. So just continue to work that shoreline and work that edge, find your bait, and you'll find your fish. Back here on Dunham Flat, this little area all the way here against the shoreline. Get out and wade this area here. It's going to be a little soft, a little squishy back here, but you can do it. You can wade it. You may have to deal with it for just a little bit, but it's okay. There's been some bait that's been working back here on this back shoreline. There's been some nice redfish that have been caught back on this shoreline as well. Topwater bait has been the most productive up and down this shoreline. With the water coming back and the temps coming back a little bit, fish are becoming a little bit more active. The bait fish is coming up off of that ICW to get back up on this mud flat that's here when the water's just still a little tad cooler in the mornings, but again, as that sun hits it and it starts warming up throughout the process of the day, just continue to work this area. Now as you push back to the further back in here you go, the softer it's going to get, so you may want to get back in your boat, get on your trolling motor, work this area back here best that you can on either side of this little lake area that's back in here in Dunham. And just continue to look for your bait. There's a few mouth drains that are back there in the very back of those. Hit those if you see some bait working in those deeper guts. Throw your topwater in there, really work it, or throw your burner shad. Those two right there primarily have been the best baits that's been working back in this area. Out here on Newcomb, the point, all around this edge here on a little bit deeper water as you come around this point, and then you head back into Newcomb Bend. One thing that you're really going to want to pay attention to as this week progresses is the wind variables that are going to be coming up. We're going to have a lot of higher winds toward the end of the week, heading into the weekend, so areas like this are going to be areas of beer protection, because primarily our winds are going to be coming out of the south-southeast. That's going to push more water in here. Our temps are going to come up a little bit, but that's going to help this fish become more active. You're going to be finding this bait that's working back here on this back shoreline. As you head back down in this corner, there's a bunch of good little areas here that's got scattered mud, shell, good wading bottom. This whole area back here all the way over toward Holiday Beach area. Just continue to work this back shoreline. There's been a few redfish that have been caught out of there. They're in that lower slot, this 21s to 24s, which are really nice, good sized redfish. Again, just remember, any of your trout that you catch and release those, please. Continue to work your topwater baits back in here. Suspended baits have been pretty good. The soft dines have worked really well. Redfish have really been eating on those pretty good back in this area here. Again, the burner shad has done well, and the Corky Devil is the other one that has done pretty well in this area. So you can wade this thing 50, 60, 70 yards off the shoreline, off that back shoreline, all the way over toward Holiday Beach area, if you so choose. Just, again, look for your bait. Find that area that's working and just really concentrate on throwing those baits up in that area, and you'll find some redfish. Swan Lake shoreline starting to light up a little bit. All this area in here where these guts go back into the lake. If you want to get back in the lake back there and wade that, again, on that back shoreline back in here, and continue to work all this back here, it's a little soft, but it is wadeable. You can get back in there with the water levels that are starting to come back. Water temps beginning to come up. These fish, again, they're starting to become active, and these areas are pushing. Bait fish are getting pushed back here on this back shoreline. These fish are beginning to follow that, and that's going to be a continuing trend as we head in to the next couple of months, as we'll have a bait migration that will continue to come up from the south and start inundating our systems and bringing more fish along with them. And again, with the spring breaks that are going to be happening over the next 2 weeks, these areas like this are going to be areas, and with the weather as well, areas that you're really going to want to work, pay attention to. They're kind of out of the way, but you can get back here and you can wade this back shoreline. Throw a topwater bait in there. Use it as a searcher bait. If you start seeing blow-ups are not coming, then go to a soft dine and get it down in front of their face, or the Double D. Double D's been a good choice for this spring so far. That those fish not quite all the way coming and committing, and those ones that don't, then you put that Double D on and get it down in front of their face and swim that bait through there, and that you'll have a whole lot more production with that in some instances. Again, the burner shad's been really good here. The darker down south has worked well. So just continue to be patient. Continue to look for these fish that are back here on the shoreline. Find your bait fish working there, and then just continue to work it until you find the fish that you're looking for. Watching, I'm Captain Larry Bell.